Welcome to Your Life Matters Soul Connection podcast with me, your host, Junie Swadron. And today I'm absolutely, literally over the moon to welcome my friend, a new author, a magnificent woman, Maggie Reidy. Maggie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Junie. I am over the moon to be here as well.
Oh, this has been, we've talked about this for quite a while. And now you've just birthed your brand new book, The Great Global Pause, which we're going to be speaking a lot of. But first, I am going to let people know a bit about your background. And so this is Maggie's bio. And you know, we hear the word bio and we think, oh, how clinical. And yet, no, please just listen to what this woman has chosen to offer us through her work, through her education, through her love and her soul. So Maggie Reidy is a registered clinical counselor with over 25 years experience accompanying humans of all ages on their healing journeys. She says that she cannot imagine doing any other kind of work that would be more meaningful and a better fit for who she is as a person. Maggie is grateful to live with her family in the infinite beauty that nature provides on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. She respectfully acknowledges the Lekwungen Peoples, particularly Esquimalt, Songhees, and WSANEC Nations, whose traditional territory she lives, plays, works, and raises her children. Maggie fully acknowledges the ongoing impact of colonialism and looks for opportunities to build relationships with humans from all backgrounds that are strongly rooted in trust, humility, respect, kindness, and compassion. During the pandemic, she was inspired to write her first children's book. It is called The Great Global Pause, and it is inspired by life on Earth in 2020. The book begins with a young child swimming in the ocean when grandmother turtle named Keola swims by. Keola invites the child on an underwater adventure, showing an abundance of healthy ocean life that began to flourish during the COVID-19 pandemic. The child shares their own perspective of what life was like for the humans during the restrictions and changes. They share a powerful conversation about the challenges and silver linings of this challenging time on Earth. They also share reflections and wisdom about how to make the world a better place for Earth, the creatures, and the humans. Maggie is committed to living her life fully self-expressed and being an ambassador of love and light on Earth. She is so that. This book is Maggie's contribution to the children who walk the earth now and all of those who will walk the earth in the future. The messages in the story are for children of all ages and the older people who read it to them. She is so excited to get this book out in the hands of parents, grandparents, teachers, youth leaders, aunties, uncles, foster parents, and anyone else who has a special child in their life. Wow. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you. Yes. I have to say that this is such a privilege. You and I have been talking about Turtle Talk for a long, long time. Tell us about Turtle Talk for a moment, and then I want to go into a little bit of background of why you chose the profession that you have. But tell us about Turtle Talk, because, yeah.
Well, I love having this conversation with you because you've been one of my mentors and the person who inspired me to never lose sight of the vision of these stories that have been in my head for a long time and to actually put them down on paper and get them out to the world. And you just kept asking me, Maggie, how's it going on those stories? How's it going on that writing? And I said, oh, Junie, I don't have time. And that went on for a very long time. And finally, I've done it. I've taken these stories out of my head, out of my heart, and put them on paper. And I'm holding this book in my hand, and
Let's see.
I want to thank you.
Look at that, the great global pause inspired by life on Earth in 2020. Oh my gosh, that is so stunning. And they were inspired by the work you have been doing for a very, 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 very long time.
Yes, yes.
In what you call turtle talks.
Yes. So Turtle Talk, when I worked at the Child Sexual Abuse Society, otherwise known as the Mary Manning Center, which is now the Victoria Child Abuse Prevention and Counseling Society of Greater Victoria. So it's changed names, but that was the work I did for almost 20 years. And at some point, one of the nations close to Victoria came to us and said, we want help to protect our most precious asset, which is our children. And so we met with the elders at Sayout Reserve, and we had healing circles and wisdom circles to come up with, well, how can we do that? How can we work together to collaborate to protect the children? And so it came to be that I got to be part of this team to go in and create a group for children. And one day I was walking down the hallways of Mary Manning thinking, what are we going to call it? We're not going to call it a safety skills group. That's boring. What are we going to call it? What are we going to call it? And it came to me, the turtle. And I had this like, wow, the turtle has a shell of protection. And the turtle has so many lessons to teach us about taking care of ourselves inside the shell and swimming together with our tribe, with our people around us, and making sure that we take care of each other and we stay together, we stick together through the storms and the waves of time and challenge, that we come back to our roots where, you know, like the turtles go back to the place where they're born, like the salmon, and they need to come out of that little egg and strengthen themselves to get to the water. And you know, if you just pick them up and take them, they're not going to be strong enough for the journey. So part of it is that strengthening of, you know, they're so vulnerable in the beginning, and they strengthen and they grow strong and resilient, and they make that journey. And so I just, the turtle has so many lessons. So we went to the elders and said, with respect to your culture, is it okay if we use the metaphor of turtle in this way? And they said, yes, we need turtle energy. Yes, we all need turtle wisdom. And so I got to be part of this program for 10 years, teaching lessons on boundaries and how to deal with bullies and how to stand up to challenge and take care of yourself and all of your big feelings and each other, and with respect. And so this beautiful program about self-regulation and community and strengthening and resilience and all of that for 10 years. And this organic program, and through that, these stories have been in my head for a long time about turtle talk wisdom. And you and my Auntie Marlene and my husband Rob said, get those stories out there. So
and you did, and you have. Didn't you have a personal experience with the turtle?
I did. When I
Can you tell us about that? Because we're not just talking metaphorically. You got to know the soul.
Yes, I did.
Of a true turtle.
So when I went to Hawaii, I was so focused on swimming with turtles. And I remember it was just so, I was like, I need to swim with turtles. I need to have a turtle experience. And my son said to me, Mom, like, you can't make an appointment with a turtle. Like, you might miss everything else about Hawaii if you're over focused on the turtle. And I said, yeah, whatever. And so I got to Hawaii and I was like, I'm not a swimmer. I'm not a snorkeler, but I was determined to get in that water and have this experience. And so when I finally got to go in the water, and I was searching for the turtle, and it wasn't around. And I knew that I had to get back to the boat within a short time. And I was starting to get kind of panicky. And I remembered my son saying, Mom, you can't make an appointment with a turtle. Like, if you're not present to everything else, you might miss that. And so I calmed myself down and I said, Maggie, be in the moment. Look at this water. Look at this coral. Look at all these little fish. Look at how beautiful and miraculous this is to just be here. And when I calmed and closed my eyes and took a breath, all of a sudden there was this huge, gigantic turtle. And we were in water that was fairly shallow, and the turtle went down And I, with respect, gave respectful distance to the turtle, but here's the turtle and I'm hovering over the turtle. And the turtle looks up at me and I look at the turtle, and the turtle then goes up for air and I go up for air, and the turtle comes back down and I come back down. And honestly, it's just one of the most powerful and spiritual and magnificent experiences of my life to connect with this beautiful turtle. And so my husband knew this was amazing. So he was taking pictures, and then he says, okay, I'm going to go over there. And I said, okay, you go. I'm just going to stay with Keola. And then he started calling me, and I was like, no, I'm going to ignore that. And then suddenly I thought, well, okay, he must be calling me for a good reason. So I said, okay, Keola, I'm leaving you now, but you're going to stay forever in my heart. And I swam over, and there was a baby turtle and another baby turtle. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
Which ends up being part of this story, Junie, that in the Great Global Pause.
You know, Maggie, there are so many lessons in just what you've shared just now. So many. You always wanted to come face to face with a real life turtle. You wanted to swim with the turtles. That was a powerful vision, dream, vision, intention that you set. And so even though your son said, are you kidding? And you just at first like, yeah, well, I'm going to just do it anyway. You held that focus. And then they weren't coming. And then you remembered the wisdom of your son. Mom, they don't come. A turtle's not going to come for an appointment. You might miss everything else. So you heard the heart of that and the truth of that, and you came into the present moment. And that's where you saw all the magic in the waters that you were in. And you saw the other little fish swimming, and you saw the coral, and you saw this and that, all of the abundance. Mm-hmm. And then came your beautiful turtle.
Yes.
I mean, that just says so much right there. Maggie, how did you become who you are? How did you become the light that you are? Was it just, born that way, life's been really easy and it's like a natural skip in the park?
Oh, I wouldn't say so, Junie. I think.
Well, we all come from stories, honey, and we all find our way. Those who are fortunate enough to find a way beyond whatever those stories were. Yeah. You want to share a little bit about that and how you came from where you were to where you are?
Yes, I can. I think we all have to go through some challenge to find our path, right? Mm-hmm. So mine was. I was born in a family that I love, that are beautiful people and always doing the best they can. And I certainly feel privileged and I feel grateful for that. But it didn't come without some challenge, right? So my dad had a very difficult life in Ireland with no support, and so that was part of his grit and resilience to come to Canada to make a life for himself, where he really had to do that all by himself, literally. And a mom who, one of her challenges is she lives with bipolar. And so that's been part of our story. And so there's this beautiful story of resilience, and yet some ups and downs that were very challenging. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I felt like I was the one who had to, be the peacemaker, be the shining light, help my family to not focus just on the challenge, but to bring some love and light to the situation. And so that's part of my personality, is growing up, figuring out how to do that, to help people extend beyond just the darkness and the wound and the challenge of life. And so I feel like that became, when I was in university, or when I was in high school, I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. I just didn't see, and I didn't see that I had something that I had to contribute in life. And I started out in secretary school, and that was terrible. That was like not for me. I can relate. I stumbled into working with kids and helping kids became the path that was my calling. And that extended into getting my master's in counseling and working with families, working with youth, working with adults who are finding their dark night of the soul and finding their way through it. And I think we all go through a dark night of the soul. I think we all go through challenge. And yet I even say it in the book somewhere at the introduction to the parents, that when we come up against that challenge, that dark time, that's actually where we grow. We don't grow when everything's hunky-dory and a bowl of cherries. We love that and we were grateful for it and we just want to stay in the bowl of cherries. But when we come up against something where there's some grit, we're up against something, there's some kind of challenge, there's some kind of wounding or something difficult, that's actually the compost where we grow the most. And so I've just been addicted to helping people through that challenge and helping myself through that challenge, helping my family through that challenge, because it's part of the human experience.
It totally is. And you do it so beautifully with such grace and resilience and determination and kindness, and it's your nature. And I know, having known you a little while, that it hasn't always been easy, but you are one of the most fun people I know, and always ready to dance and smile and sing and have a beautiful word, or become really serious and say, this is what we need to do right now. And you took the bull by the horns and you did write that book, and it is a compilation of all your years and what you understand, and yet it was so inspired by, excuse me, by this pandemic. And if you'll allow me, I would like to just read the very beginning of your book, where you say, let me find it here. It's such a stunning book. I'm going to ask you in a little while. Everybody loves the storybook. And so I want you to share some of these extraordinary pictures in the story. But excuse me. I'm just going to keep reading. Okay, no.
Storybook that calls you in.
Right, seriously. Okay. Maggie writes in this beautiful book, and this is what the very beginning looks like. I want you to hear this. I'm writing this book during a time on Earth that has been dark and challenging for the whole planet. We're living through a global pandemic. Life as we knew it has shifted, and all of us has been affected in some way. I'm calling this time on Earth the Great Global Pause. We have been shaken out of our normal patterns and routines, a pause in life as we knew. No, new is in compelling us to reflect on what is most important to us in our life, on lives on Earth. And I'll just read one more paragraph here, and then I want you to share so much of what this book is about and what happened to Keola, what happened to Earth, what happened to this incredible friend that Keola met, to help us understand from Keola's point of view. Mm-hmm. Okay, and there have been big waves of emotion stirred up in humans of all ages during this time. We're moving through waves of grief, confusion, uncertainty, and fear as we cope with rapid changes and complex issues that are calling our attention on Earth. We've been knocked out of our comfort zones, and we are digging deep to help ourselves, our loved ones, and our communities through it. Yes, great global pause. So as I was saying, we all love a storybook, and a storybook with pictures. And, you know, this isn't the usual thing. I interview a lot of authors and we talk about our books, but we don't necessarily have pictures in them. They have great meaning, but you do. And I would love you. I'm going to sit back like I'm a child having this wonderful, nurturing mom who's reading me the story, my mom and dad. And I'm just going to sit back and enjoy what you have to say and the pictures. Okay, are you okay with that?
This is like show and tell. It's the best show and tell of my life.
It is a show and tell. Yes. Okay,
well,
guys,
I'm not
get
going to
ready.
read you the story, Junie, because I think that would take up too much of our time. But I am going to sort of summarize it and flip through here and give you the gist of it. So we start out with a child who's just entering the ocean and going to go swimming. And I want to say, this child doesn't really get named. This child is the narrator of this story. So this is the child's perspective on this magical day and this experience. And the child is swimming and a gigantic sea turtle comes up. I just love this picture.
Take it back a little bit, just a little bit closer. Yeah, that's probably about the distance that we can see it on the screen well.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Here the child is swimming and all of a sudden this gigantic sea turtle comes up and the child is listening and the sea turtle says, "My name is Keola." And Keola means alive in my Hawaiian language. And Keola says to the child, "Come with me down to the bottom of the sea so we can share some turtle talk wisdom to pass on to the humans that you meet." And the child says, "I feel scared." And Keola says, "Don't worry, child. Take 3 deep breaths with me. Let's do that now. In and out. In and out. In and out." And when the child looks and opens their eyes, Keola has blown a magic bubble around so that the child can travel down to the bottom of the sea safely with Keola. And I love that part because we've all been in our bubbles through this.
Right.
And so Keola and the child travel down to the bottom of the sea together. And Keola says that there was this time on Earth called the Great Global Pause. And the child says, "What does that mean? What are you talking about?" And Keola says there was this time on Earth when the ocean was stiller and the waters were cleaner. And all these magical things happened, like 90 billion turtle eggs were hatched on beaches all over the world.
Wow.
Beaches that were stiller than usual because the people were still. And
that's true, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's probably more than 90 billion. I don't know the exact number.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so the child says, "I see a baby turtle and another baby turtle, another baby turtle. What's going on?" And that's like my experience.
I was just thinking that.
And so then Keola says, "Well, it was during the Great Global Pause. And not only were baby turtles born, but dolphins and flamingos and other kinds of creatures went back to places that they hadn't been to in a long, long time." And so Keola says, "Well, what was going on? Why was there a Great Global Pause?" And Keola basically says, the balance was off in the circle of life and the earth was tired. And when everybody was still, there was all these things that occurred where new life got to emerge and balance got to come into the earth. And then Keola says, "What were the humans doing during the time of the Great Global Pause?" And the child says, "The humans had gotten so busy running around here and there that they had forgotten how to really listen to each other. They had forgotten how to really take care of each other. They had forgotten how to be still. They had forgotten the most important things in life. And during the time of the Great Global Pause, they stayed home. They put hearts in the window. They planted gardens. They safely connected with their neighbors. They banged pots at 7 o'clock to say thank you to the hospital workers, the people that kept the essential services going to keep the people safe and healthy. I actually still miss that part. I wish that we were still banging pots at 7 o'clock. And
They still do in my neighborhood.
oh, that's awesome.
I know.
I didn't want to let that go. I actually have a timer on my phone now at 7 o'clock. No matter what I'm doing, I stop with whoever I'm with and I have a moment of gratitude.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And so they stayed home, they baked bread, they danced, they played together, they remembered what's most important in life, and they shared their gifts with each other. They video conferenced to make sure that they were safe and okay and connecting in good ways and safe ways. And they took care of the elders and made sure they were okay. And the global pause went on for a very long time. And so the people had big feelings. They felt sad. They felt scared. They felt worried. And they needed to figure out how to move through those feelings and honor them so that they didn't get stuck in the yuck, so that they didn't make things worse, so that they could remember to feel the feelings and dance it out, cry it out, stomp it out, draw it out, write it out. Of course, Junie, you love that. Write it out. It's a therapeutic way to get out all those feelings. And so that they could come back to their hearts and come back to the most important things in life. And they had to, here, I'm just going to read this part. They had to breathe out the fear and breathe in the love again and again and again.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And
I love that.
Come together in community. And they had to learn and remember that love is the superpower that helps people to be creative, share their gifts, and work together. They learned that love is the only way to make Earth a better place for themselves, their families, and all the creatures that share our planet. And then Keola is just touched. She's just absolutely moved. And they have this magical, I just love this illustration. Andrew
Oh gosh, yes. Oh.
He just
say his name again.
Andrew Sharp. He lives in Whitehorse, and we had a Zoom relationship and an email relationship and to create this together.
What a magnificent artist he is.
So Keola says that when the world was quiet and still, all the creatures of the sea remembered to love each other, be kind, and respect each other, no matter what color they were, no matter where they came from, no matter how different they were from each other. And they talk and share. And then I love this drawing. And the child says, eventually, after a long time, the humans remembered how to do that too. And in the end, love wins. And the child is here in the talking circle, sharing the turtle talk wisdom with the humans. And Keola says, I'll come again another day, and we will share more turtle talk conversations to pass on to the humans you meet. So there's actually already 4 little books written in my computer waiting for the right time.
Wow.
To continue the conversations.
That is so beautiful. And one of the things that I also love about this book is the story tells it all as it is. However, what you have added to this book are the lessons. You've added them. What are the lessons from the Great Global Pause? Well, I won't go through them all, but be kind to yourself and to all humans and all creatures that you meet. Take the time to be still and listen to your heart. And so you bring it so true to a practical spiritual activity and action of what we, excuse me, what this book is being asked to do, basically, for every single one of us. And you make it so clear, you know, and then you have reflection questions. You say, my greatest wish is to inspire parents, teachers, grandparents, aunties, uncles, caregivers, foster parents, counselors, and youth leaders to engage in rich and meaningful conversations with the children and youth in their lives. And which is awesome, because not everybody always knows where to start, what to do. Not everyone's an educator with children. And so this book gives you the language in which to ask the questions And you have the reflection questions, you know, what do you love about planet Earth? What did you miss during the great global pause, otherwise known as the pandemic, etc. You also have resources throughout the book. And so that you can follow the Turtle Talk Wisdom for Children of all ages. And you're in the process, it says, of building a library of new and classic songs in a playlist called The Great Global Pause. And that is on Spotify already, right?
Yes, it is.
Wow. How do people find it?
They go to The Great Global Pause, Maggie Reidy, and I've made it a public playlist, and there's some oldies on there, some classics from John Denver. I mean, when I listen to some of his songs that were written in the 70s, you would think they were written for the pandemic. And then some new
Hi, Calypso, this place that I love that song.
Yes.
As one of many, yes.
Yes, there's one called It's About Time. It's about time we listen to each other and take care of our earth. It's about time we listen to the way that the climate is telling us that we need to pay attention.
Yeah.
It's amazing that that was written in the 70s, and here we are, right?
And here we are still. When will they ever learn? When will we ever learn?
Yeah.
Well, you know when people can hear the messages of the Great Global Pause, when they hear, I mean, there are so many, there are countless millions of people across the earth shouting that message to the sky, shining their lights. It's not all, you know, about doom and gloom. It's about what we can do to turn it all around. And there are so many individuals and groups, and wider and wider and wider. The tribes are just starting to come together in so many ways, right? It's a global, it's a, hey, isn't this today Global Peace Day? Like, is this not most fortuitous in the whole wide world?
Right. Look at this. Our interview, we've been talking about this forever, and it lands on Global Peace Day.
That is just blows my mind.
I just love this image, and it says, Global Peace Day is, even though we may see things differently from others or have different views and opinions that don't always line up, let us all be respectful and kind and gentle with each other today and always.
Can you read that one more time, please? Because it's a message, I think, that today as Global Peace Day, and every day make it a Global Peace Day. And where does it start? It starts within our own hearts. So could you please read that message again?
Even though we may see things differently from others, and our views and opinions don't always line up, let us all be respectful, kind, and gentle with each other today and always.
Exquisite. Oh my gosh. I can hardly, I love you, universe, that today of all days, we scheduled this to be today, and it's International Peace Day. Of course.
Alignment.
Universe, alignment.
Alignment.
It's total alignment. It's obvious that the universe is totally supporting you, Maggie, and everything that you personally have been doing throughout your lifetime to grow up in a household that had its challenges, like we all do, but to be that peacekeeper, to be that one who wanted to show another way, and to go into high school really not knowing what you wanted, and then found yourself working with children later and knew your calling.
Yeah.
Right. And just felt, oh my gosh, this is me. This is who I am. And then you just brought everything that you've always carried inside you and your heart to all the children that you get, countless children throughout all of these years. And now adults and every age that have had the benefit and the privilege and the honor and to have worked with you to be giving them hope and guidance as to how to put one step in front of the other and transform their lives. Not everybody can do that and do it well. You do.
Thank you, Junie. I think I could say the same about you. I know your work is very similar in many of those ways. And so thank you. Thank you for honoring my path, and I honor yours for listening to the calling.
Yeah. Well, we met in a workshop called Celebrate.
Unleash your
creativity, passion, and purpose.
That's it. Unleash your creativity, passion, and purpose. That's where we met, to a workshop you were giving. And here we are, unleashing.
And here we are. We found each other dancing on the break.
Yes.
And the rest is history. Yeah. So let me ask you, where next in terms of the book, in terms of you, Maggie Reidy? What is your next?
Well, this is just my proof copy. So in about a month, about 4 weeks from now, it'll be my chance to get this book out to the hands of these. And I feel like this book is for all of us. I feel like it's for the older people that read it to the children. It helps us to remember the most important things in life. It helps us to remember what to take away from this challenging time that we are all going through. So I just am excited about getting this out there into families and youth groups and schools and places where we can come together and come into circle and read this story and reflect on it. And I'm encouraging people to do their own artwork about their own journey with this story, about I've asked in the book, if you want to send a picture about what you love about life on Earth, and if you want to send your own picture of you with Keola, please come to my turtletalkwisdom.ca website, and I'll have a gallery there where we can share our pictures together. I hope to go into schools and do readings. I hope to get this out across the globe, because I feel like it's for all of us. And then I actually wrote 4 other little stories about compassion and unity and respect, the lessons of the turtle. And when the time is right, those will flow out as well. But I'm going to trust divine timing, as I have had to all along in this process.
100%. Things come when they are meant to, and then it is alignment, like you said. We can't do it a second before we're really fully embodied in that. And so, and then it just lines up with the universe, and it turns out that it's International Peace Day, and and that it'll be a series of Keola's turtle wisdom. For things that are absolutely so important. So if you're watching this, then please take heed. This is the most beautiful book you can give as a gift. Christmas is coming up. And we all have that child in us, whether we're giving it away or we're older, and we, as that child, we wanted that freedom. We want to live on Earth without masks. We want to be able to see each other and play together and go to the beach together and explore and all of those wonderful things that children do. And we were that. And we can bring that back inside of us so that we can get back our inner joy and spontaneity. And there's a lyric from a song I wrote years ago: children, teach us what you know, tell us what you see in your free world. Teach us how to grow, to understand and be the children we were originally, with sparkling eyes and innocent smiles, sweet dreams and candy floss. Give us your hand, we'll be your friend. You show us who's boss. Children, let's learn from your smiles, your magic and make believe. If we understand together in all we say and do, then friends will be for all to see, and the old can stay young too.
Oh,
I can't believe I remembered that.
That's amazing. That needs to be on my Great Global Pause playlist.
All right, I'll sing it. I'll get David to go into the studio.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
How stunning is that? Thank you.
Well, it is about that. It's about us honoring that child within us and honoring the children in our lives and the planet. And thank you for bringing Keola to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So is there one message that you feel that Keola would want to tell us more than anything? There's so many, I get it.
Yeah. I think that Keola says, when you're moving through a storm and you can't control the storm and you can't control the waves, remember to stick together and be safe and take care of yourselves. And remember to trust in your resilience, trust in your love for each other, trust in your love for yourself to get you through the storm.
Wow. Thank you, Keola. Thank you, Maggie Reidy. Will you please give us your website address one more time? And by the way, everyone, it will be on the Soul Connection podcast, which is where you'll be watching this. So it will be written, but for those who are maybe just listening to it and they don't see it, tell us again.
So the website, the new website is called turtletalkwisdom.ca, just like it sounds, and it's all lowercase, turtletalkwisdom.ca. And there will be the announcement of the launch date that I don't have yet. There's a little video with a description of the book. That's where the gallery will be for children to send in their artwork of their.
Can old children send that in too?
Yes, of course. All
goody.
children of, this is for Turtle Talk Wisdom for children of all ages is actually.
Right. Yay. I'll claim
so
it.
It reaches the child in us and all are welcome here.
All are welcome here. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Maggie. You are such an inspiration to the whole planet. Bless you.
Thank you so much, Junie. And I want to just say, this also is a launch day for you. And I thank you for taking this time out to help me launch my passion project. And you've got so many passion projects, but you've got a new one called, it's a collaboration. And it's your new book that you collaborated on called The Wisdom of the Silver Sisters.
That's true. And just today is the actual launch day for all of us. I was blessed to be part of 45 women who have shared their incredible stories of life, of love, of challenge, of brilliant transformation of everything, joy, humor, pathos, love, and all of it. And so it's a real privilege today to be part of that collaboration. So thank you for mentioning it.
I'm definitely going to be going to that website and getting my copy. And I just want to support you in this because I think that it's in line with everything we've been talking about today, how we go through challenge and we all have a story and we all have something to share that is part of our journey here on Earth.
Absolutely. Yep. We'll find it on Amazon, just like we're going to find yours.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maggie. Love you, girl.
Mwah. Thank you.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.